We're starting this. I need to be drunk at a hotel dressed as an anime character.
You need to be what?
Drunk in a hotel lobby dressed as an anime character.
I mean, you can dress me up too and run your ass up in the damn hallway. I wouldn't mind. I might not come out, but I wouldn't mind.
What the heck?
But go ahead and damn self. You got the camera and the tripod. Look yourself.
It's fun of that. Talk about the comic.
I know what you're talking about, but shit. Make up your own.
I should do that.
What? What you said?
I said I probably could do that.
Yeah. Dress up, run yourself up in that hallway, put the camera up, and make your own video.
No, I'm talking about an actual con.
Oh, make your own?
Yeah, hosting my own con. You mean where? Let these hooligans know I'm live.
You know, we can do that when we move.
What?
When we move and we get a house, we can do a little con, a small little con party and see how it turns out. Send a whole bunch of invites to different people.
In that case, we just have a raid. There's more to kind of just a party.
It won't be like big.
I don't know. Still have to take into account vendors, panelists, and other stuff.
We might have to do like big vendors because I was like just maybe like one or two apart. Like you want to do like your own company, Africa Nomad and stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and yeah, it could be done. It just wouldn't be able to get the house.
Yeah, because my thing is that if we're not gonna have a lot of people coming in, then we shouldn't get too many vendors.
A lot of it comes from plugging it, publicity, getting the word on stuff. Oh crap! I keep forgetting about that. I can't do that while I'm streaming. It sucks. That would be something fun to look into. Well, so that would be something fun to look into, though. Alright. Get the right. Excuse me. what though? I didn't realize.
That feeling of just knowing you're getting this right for you when you first lay eyes on it is such a great feeling.
The thing that happens is you start to feel the excitement just build up. I'm thinking about it all the time, even in my sleep. Tú sabes que por una misma comunidad te llegas a enamorar bastantísimo.
I think you need to describe as I was.
Experience worlds that you can't experience by yourself. I guess video games allow me to be what I can't experience it, but it's not. Come home, log onto your PC, and disappear into a different world.
I am a part of something bigger, a part of something beautiful.
As an obsessive person, video games give me a place where I feel that makes sense to me.
What will tell you that all of my family play video games?
Me and my brothers, we would share a computer 1 hour at a time, told them to I put about game with somebody. I really enjoy playing video games with my dad, my children.
That connection between video games allowing us to express with each other adds a lot to our relationship.
Games like the World of Warcraft let me meet people that I probably never would have. I can honestly say, I met some of my best friends through playing games. We have this connection that allows us to share our joys, to share our achievements, to share our growth together. Every time I'm able to achieve something, I'm able to make myself proud. Killing heroic Blackhair back in Warlords of Draenor was one of my favorite memories. I managed to find that one bit of pylon with my one weakness. Hardcore Inferno Diablo, however, was gold in competitive in Overwatch. And I had something like AI can't do it for a girl. So I was able to slay them more like I go, oh no, I'll be pretty, freaking out and screaming the whole time. When I went through my body was going crazy, pela caminhada que se tão prazerosa e pela conquista dele. Aí você se sentiu muito, caramba, esse jovem incrível.
然后国外做现场女性模特，包括一些男的工作人员，他们都哭了。Many years ago, I was doing investment here at Cal Forest, and a lovely little maid came up and said, "Would you like a hand to help me with this today?" We've been married now for over a decade.
Their resilience fill the void. They fill the friendship that they have. Okay, that's a huge LGBTQIA plus community in the city. So I was able to play a video game. I was able to start talking to people. We didn't really care about everything now. The video games support my escape. As a teenager, my dad was diagnosed with ALS, and I looked at video games as a way to escape from that sort of reality. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm just glad video games are there for me. I'll never stop playing video games. I imagine
I really hope
one day being an 80-year-old grand
that the mic isn't being picked up more than.
Who I am today. My passion, my interest, my excitement, they belong.
Video games opened for me the world, and because of that, I'm forever thankful.
And I can't wait to see what the next generation holds.
Welcome to BlizzConline, a celebration of 30 years of Blizzard communities and 30 years of Blizzard games. 30 years is so many years, and last year maybe felt like one of the longest of all. But throughout the years of Blizzard Entertainment, from 1991 to today, many of us can associate certain games with milestones in our lives. Maybe you were a little kid the first time you played The Lost Vikings. Or in high school when you first played a Diablo game. Or maybe you met your partner while you were playing World of Warcraft. That's the awesome thing about video games. They give us experiences that are relevant to the times in our lives and experiences that we carry forward with us. Games are here for us during good times, and they're here for us even when we feel alone or maybe uncertain. Games are coming home, familiar, comfortable, with a connection and a sense of belonging. And while many of us spent most of 2020 in our actual real-life homes, games became even more of a place to get away, to be free from outside concerns, even if just for a little while. So, this is pretty weird. Usually, when we start BlizzCon, the opening call is to my favorite Warcraft faction, the Alliance. Or my favorite faction, the Horde. I get confused. Usually, I'd be speaking to 40,000 of you in person at the Anaheim Convention Center and millions of you around the world. And usually, that would be a perfect way to celebrate. But nothing about the last year has been usual. The pandemic has been hard on everyone, and for many different reasons. But if there's one thing that the last year has taught us, it's that being apart physically doesn't stop us from moving forward. It doesn't stop us from connecting with our player friends around the world, diving in as warriors and heroes, and checking on each other as humans. It doesn't stop us from sharing our latest epic gaming story, or celebrating those of others. Games continue to unite us. Now, to be honest, I wasn't sure how well Blizzard could work from home. There are thousands of people, all needing to work together in creating our universes, games, and experiences. Never has it felt more true that it takes a Blizzard to make a Blizzard game. And in 2020, it became clear that the magic of creating a Blizzard isn't just tied to a physical location. It's tied to the people who work here, and I continue to be so proud of each and every one of them. Thank you, Blizzard. We create these games and pour all of our energy and heart into them, but it is you, the Blizzard community, that brings them to life. And that's why BlizzConline is a celebration of you, the guild leaders, healers, DPS, tanks, innkeepers, Zerg, Terran, Protoss, Blackwatch, Shimada, the heroes of Sanctuary and of the Storm. These next few days are for you, our Blizzard community. For World of Warcraft, we'll be showing you what's next for both Shadowlands and Classic. I'm sure you're all burning in anticipation for that one. Hearthstone is getting back to its roots in a major way. We can't wait to show you how. We also have news for our Diablo community. Some of you were able to dip your toes into the depths of hell in the Diablo Immortal Technical Alpha. I really enjoyed seeing players embrace the multiplayer aspect of meeting in town. We can't wait for more of you to get your hands on it. So, it's only the beginning of the year, And already there is so much to look forward to, even though we can't yet be together in person. The Overwatch League will be kicking things off in spring, and we'll be watching closely to see if the San Francisco Shock can continue their championship run. World of Warcraft esports is back with the Arena World Championship and Mythic Dungeon International already in full swing in Shadowlands. StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 esports are going strong with our friends at the ESL Pro Tour. And qualifiers are already underway for the first online stop of the 2021 Hearthstone Masters Tour, with the first event taking place next month. But before we get too far ahead, let's take a look one last time to when times were a little simpler. In the early 1990s, the internet was a baby. CD sales had finally eclipsed cassette tapes. Cassette tape, it's a rectangle piece of plastic, and there's a tape inside, and music would get recorded on, and sometimes you needed a pencil to wind it and make it tight. I know, it sounds crazy. We were all playing video games on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, DOS, or Mac PCs. I personally was a master of ConfigSys and AutoExec.dat. So many simple things in simple times. If only we could relive them.
The stage is set. The green flag drops. Let the carnage begin. Holy Toledo! What a collection! Now we're talking. What a play! Crank up the volume! Unbelievable! Whoa!
The Blizzard Arcade Collection, featuring the Lost Vikings, Rock and Roll Racing, and Blackthorn. These are ports of the games just as you remember them, allowing you to relive the original experience of all three titles in 13 different languages, with a couple of quality of life upgrades. As an example, we include very modern, cutting-edge functionality that wasn't available in the early 90s, both saving and loading of games. And for those of you who purchased any Blizzard Digital Anniversary Bundle via Battle.net, you'll automatically receive the Blizzard Arcade Collection on PC today. Now, you ready to hear about some other video games? Let's hear what's next for World of Warcraft.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. No matter where you are, World of Warcraft unites us all. Whether you're exploring the Shadowlands, Classic Azeroth, or another part of the Blizzard universe, I'm glad you could make it, because we've got a lot of good stuff to show you. But first, let's start with some Covenant pride. Kyrian, take flight. Nightfey, let the hunt begin. Necrolords, to war! Vinther, let's party. The world has thrown a lot at us since the last BlizzCon. And the thing that's really kept everyone going on the WoW team has been connecting with all of you. The bonds we forge with our guilds and family and friends in WoW are powerful and real. As WoW enters its 16th year and Blizzard celebrates its 30th anniversary, we're so grateful to have the most dedicated and friendly communities in gaming. Let's recap the events in Azeroth. In WoW Classic, we fought an endless battle for South Shore and Tauren Mill. We banded together to open the gates of Ahn'Qiraj and joined forces to take down Kel'Thuzad in his floating citadel of Naxxramas. In Shadowlands, we helped our Covenant recover from the Anima drought, brought on by Sire Denathrius, master of the Venthyr and traitor to the Pantheon of Death. We survived the halls of Torghast and crafted legendary gear in our efforts to expel Denathrius from his castle lair. But innocent souls are still wrongfully being sent to the Maw. They face an eternity of torment, and heroes like Anduin remain chained in its depths. The jailer continues to grow in power. He's preparing to break free from the Maw and complete his plan to unmake the entire Warcraft universe. And Sylvanas, you may be wondering what she's been up to all this time. Today, we're excited to unveil our first major content update for Shadowlands, Chains of Domination.
Look around you!
What makes you believe you're not just a weapon to achieve his ends?
Enough! Join our cause, or be made to serve.
Right now, you hold all the power. Make your choice, Sylvanas Windrunner.
Despite all our efforts, the Maw continues to grow. What if Denathrius' treachery is irreparable? The Primus is lost, and Bastion cannot save the Shadowlands alone.
None of this should have happened.
Perhaps the Winter Queen could...
My Archon, a living soul, seeks an audience.
A mortal?
A king. By all our measures, one who has spent his life striving for justice. One who would give anything to serve his people. One whose heart is true.
Very well. He may approach. Step forward. My Ascended have spoken of you. The king, held captive in the Maw.
That prison could not hold me forever.
Why have you come to Bastion?
You have a key that I need.
You will release this soul from your grasp.
No. He is bound to me.
Just as you once sought to bind your own brother. The vessel performed its part flawlessly. 3 keys remain. Then they will see
was so intense. I know you probably have a lot of questions about what you just saw and what it means for the next stage of your Shadowlands journey. Later today, my teammates Ian and Jeremy will be telling you more about Chains of Domination in our Shadowlands update. Please check out the World of Warcraft channel to find out more. Next, I'm excited to share our upcoming World of Warcraft charity pet program. We've heard a lot from our community about how much they love these pets and the opportunity to give to a good cause, along with ideas to make the program even better. So during this upcoming campaign, you'll be able to donate whatever amount you wish to directly support our chosen charity. Once donations reach our goal, everyone playing World of Warcraft will get a pet for their collection as a thank you, whether you were able to contribute personally or not. And to make this a fun challenge, if we reach a stretch goal, everyone gets a second pet too. And here they are. The first pet is Bananas, literally. He was originally available to a select few back in Burning Crusade era, so we're excited to give everyone a chance to adopt him. And if we reach our stretch goal, you'll also get Daisy the Sloth. She's an all-new pet who'll hang around your neck when you need a hug. Your donations during this campaign will go to support the medical humanitarian organization Doctors Without Borders, also known by their French name, Médecins Sans Frontières, or MSF. They're an amazing group doing important work around the world. We're grateful to have such a generous community, and we hope you'll help support this worthy cause. We'll be sharing the details about the charity pet program on the World of Warcraft website soon. So we've talked quite a bit about Shadowlands. Classic players, now it's your turn. It's my pleasure to hand off to my teammate, Holly Longdale. She's a longtime WoW player, a veteran MMO developer, and she's going to tell us what's in store for WoW Classic.
Hi, everybody. First, I'd like to thank all of you who have ever been part of the WoW community over the years. You know, online worlds like WoW have been a huge part of our lives for decades now. As a dedicated MMO fan and a developer myself, I remember hearing that Blizzard was going to be making their own MMO. And I thought, well, I guess I'll check out that beta. And sure, we all call the game WoW, but really, wow. I could not believe I got bit by the MMO bug again. I was so excited to be able to make a Night Elf hunter and be like that famous Dark Elf ranger from the books that I loved. I have to tell you, Azeroth was, and still is, a place I love to live. Since last year, I've had the great honor to work alongside the WoW Classic team to bring these nostalgic experiences back to life for longtime fans and a whole new generation of players. As a fan myself, I've had so much fun in WoW. From the simple things like drive-by buffing or making friends on that long haul from Teldrassil to Ironforge, all the way to the absolutely staggering, like when I jumped blindly through the Dark Portal and was running through Hellfire Peninsula, heard this terrifying noise, and then saw the Fel Reaver. Biggest roamer I had ever seen, and I was very glad I had feigned death in that moment. And that's the thing about WoW. These stories and experiences we all share keep us coming back time after time. With that said, I'm super excited to be able to share with you where our adventures are taking us next.
You dare enter my realm. has brought you to this end. Take my blood and choke on it.
Death to the outsiders!
I'll turn your world upside down.
You are not prepared.
Brings back so many memories, right? Like exploring the fungal forests of Zangarmarsh, or being awestruck at the chaotic magic alive in Netherstorm, the Draenei in Exodar, the Blood Elves in Silvermoon. I love playing them both. Do you choose to enlist the Aldor or the Scryers in your quest to fight the Legion? And of course, we can't forget gathering all your friends to fight Illidan at the top of the Black Temple. I can't wait to relive it all with you. Since the team first set out on their own quest to bring the original WoW back to life, we have learned a ton about what players are expecting from this kind of experience. We've also learned when to keep things just as they were, and where we all might be open to some changes. We're bringing all these lessons into Burning Crusade Classic, with our primary goal to bring back the same feeling you had when you faced the Fel Reaver for the first time, or when you were digging through piles of Felhound poop. Of course, we can't get this right without you, our incredible community. Soon, you'll be able to revisit Outland yourself when beta starts and tell us what you think. Later, all WoW Classic players are going to be presented with a meaningful choice for each one of your beloved characters. Do you want to move on into Burning Crusade Classic? Or do you want to stay in the original Classic era forever? Whatever you decide, you can do it all with your one WoW subscription. Now, I know I've thrown a lot at you, but don't worry. We'll be getting into the details in our panel later today. So stick with us. We'll make sure you are prepared. And now we're going to hear what's coming up in Hearthstone.
Greetings. We're truly excited to share with you everything that's coming to Hearthstone this year. But first, let's take a quick look back at the year of the Phoenix. We added our first new class, the Demon Hunter, and ventured into the ruthless Outlands. Then we went to Scholomance Academy and got to explore dual class cards and their powerful synergies. And with our third expansion of the year, we brought you Hearthstone's biggest update ever, alongside the menacing Old Gods in Madness at the Dark Moon Fair. We launched a brand new game mode, Duels, that saw more than 10 million matches on its first day. We also introduced our long-awaited achievement system and made a significant overhaul to the rewards and progression within the game. Now, it's time to say farewell to the Year of the Phoenix and see what's in store for Hearthstone this year. Welcome to the Year of the Griffin. Over the last couple of years, we've made big changes to Hearthstone. Throughout the Year of the Griffin, we want to keep delivering fun, new experiences and make sure that the tens of millions of you playing Hearthstone are always excited to log in. First up, we'll be giving the standard format its biggest shake-up ever, with the launch of the Core Set later this year. The Core Set replaces the old Basic and Classic sets with a collection of 235 cards made up of some of the best from throughout the years, as well as 29 awesome brand new cards. And the best thing about the Core Set is that it's entirely free. So, there's never been a better time to get into Hearthstone. Here are 3 of Hearthstone's legendary dragons, reimagined to feel more up-to-date and competitive for modern-day Hearthstone. Ysera the Dreamer. You'll finally receive her full arsenal of dream cards right away. She's a nightmare for your opponents. Malygos the Spellweaver. He'll fill your hand with spells and is a powerful late game play, worthy of the aspect of magic. And finally, everyone's favorite black dragon, Deathwing. He's still as destructive as ever, but timed correctly, he won't leave you empty-handed. We'll also be launching a brand new format, Classic, where you can play Hearthstone as it was when it first launched. The Classic format will be fully supported, complete with ranks and rewards using Hearthstone's original set of cards. So, if you want to relive the old school experience, then Classic is the place for you. With Classic revisiting the past, now let's take a look to the future and explore the first expansion of the Year of the Griffin.
For a hero of the Horde, all roads lead to the crossroads. You have come for adventure. But the Barons wants to break you. Your axe must be sharp. Your wits must be keen. And your heart must be mighty. Strength and honor. This is who we are.
That's right. We're headed to one of Warcraft's most iconic locales, the Barrens, and we'll come face to face with the heroes that inhabit it. Starting with one of the Horde's most iconic, well-known characters, a fierce loyalist, one-time war chief that embodies the honor, loyalty, and spirituality of the Horde, Shadowhunter Vol'jin. Shadowhunter Vol'jin is a neutral legendary that allows you to either bolster your own board or weaken that of your opponents. And to celebrate the announcement of Forged in the Barrens, this card is available for free for everyone later today. So log into Hearthstone and claim your free copy of Shadowhunter Vol'jin. And as a bonus, we're also giving away the brand new 30 Years of Blizzard card back. Next, we have another hero of the Horde who is making his first appearance in Hearthstone. The legendary Blade Master, Samuro, featuring the new keyword, Frenzy. Frenzy activates the first time a minion takes damage and survives. In Samuro's case, this can be used to clear your opponent's board. Heroes of the Horde, like Samuro, are famous for their combat prowess, but others, like Thrall, are known for their powerful elemental magic. Take a look at this new shaman spell, Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning is a spell in a new cycle of cards that rank up and become more powerful when you have 5 and 10 mana, ensuring that they're always useful at every stage in the game. You'll also notice that they're categorized as nature spells. With Forged in the Barrens, we'll be permanently introducing spell schools across the entire game, which enables a whole host of exciting new strategies. And don't worry, members of the Alliance will be featuring some of your most beloved heroes and locales later this year. But what I love most about the Warcraft universe is its amazing characters. And our final announcement is our most ambitious addition to Hearthstone yet. It introduces a brand new way to play with your favorite heroes. Hearthstone Mercenaries.
I hooked my mic back up. So
Mercenaries features strategic RPG gameplay, where you
Let me know
build
if you hear
teams
me now,
consisting of some of the
because I
most
forgot back
iconic
then.
heroes and
You gotta
villains
have a mic.
from the Warcraft universe. including timeless characters
lot of stuff
like the
like
infamous
Ragnarok.
Thomas Windrunner, and Ragnaros, the elemental lord of fire. You can also expect to see some of Hearthstone's fan favorites, like the unstoppable Devil Sword, King Crush, and the ever-growing Gruul the Dragon Slayer. You'll lead them in battle through highly replayable roguelike missions, where the map is randomly generated every time you play, and each node represents a unique challenge for your team to take on. Your heroes gain levels, new abilities, equipment, and can even evolve into more powerful versions of themselves. We're thrilled to finally show you Hearthstone Mercenaries. It is scheduled to launch later this year, and we'll have more to share with you down the road. Everything you've seen today is just a taste of what's coming in the Year of the Griffin. So don't forget to tune in to our deep dive panel after the opening ceremony, where we'll share more details on the core set, the new classic Forged in the Barrens, and our plans for Battlegrounds and Duels, as well as our upcoming single-player content. I want to thank the team for their amazing work. And on behalf of all of us at Hearthstone, we want to thank the many millions of you who play our game. Your dedication and support is what drives us to make awesome updates and pursue ambitious and fun ideas. We can't wait to kick off the Year of the Griffin with all of you, and we hope to see you in the game soon. Next up, you'll get an update on all things Diablo.
Hey everyone,
Grab
thank you
some out.
very
Hey,
much
how's
for
it going?
joining us. I
Let
am
me know if you
so
can hear me. Let
excited
me know
to
if
kick
it's
off the
done.
Diablo
Let me know if
segment
it's calling.
of our show, and I am honored to be here on behalf of all of our Diablo teams to share the news and updates we have in store for you today. We've got a lot of Diablo to cover, and I hope you'll agree with me that it's a great time to be a member of this community. All right, let's kick things off with Diablo 4.
I'm trying to
First shared
figure
our
out.
game with you
I had
during
to
BlizzCon
rehook up my
of
mic.
2019.
So I'm
We've
trying
been
to
truly
figure
humbled
it out
by
when
your
I'm too.
response. We've kept in touch through quarterly updates and sincerely appreciate the thoughts and valuable feedback you've provided as we unveil more and more of the game and share in its development. After all, Diablo belongs to you as much as it belongs to us.
So,
most recently, we
even the
teased
video is
an
quiet?
update to our campfire screen.
Are you serious?
Savvy fans, of course, understood that we meant more than just the character lighting and fire visual effects. That's right. Today, we're happy to announce a brave new soul joining the barbarian, the sorcerer, and the druid on this dangerous journey back to Sanctuary. A class is one of the most exciting things you can announce in a Diablo game. This one is especially exciting to me, as it's a re-envisioning of one of the first classes to ever appear in the series.
Yeah,
Let's
I
have
haven't
a
used
look.
my mic in a while.
There is justice within the light, but you have to be patient. Now, pray with me. May Akarat guide and protect me.
May
Alright, how about
Akarat
that?
guide
Is that
and
louder?
protect me.
May he shepherd my soul
May he shepherd my soul.
and grant it mercy.
Because what I'm trying not to do is pick up, have y'all hearing double.
This is not the time.
But this is confession. And I have sinned. I was a thief who stole from those more fortunate.
Damn it! Wait, really?
I
Because
strayed
it's like,
from your
oh my
light
god, what is going on here?
and found my trade in the shadows. They call it murder. I say, job well done.
looks like my headphones is picking up the. Oh, alright, cool. What about the background video? Or the actual video noise? Alright, cool. Audio.
A heretic. A murderer. Father. Will Akarat save me?
You mock our light. But those monsters were a scourge upon my flock. And you...
Alright, cool.
You were the answer to their prayers.
Then we are settled. And you owe me.
The name you seek is... Thank the heavens for you.
Heavens? I assure you, Father.
Alright,
The
cool.
heavens
Appreciate
didn't
it.
send me.
Not gonna lie, I missed what game this is. I'm guessing Diablo. Not gonna front, I wanna play now. Cause she is just going ham. But what I was saying earlier is, I love how, like, Blizzard makes you want to play their game. They have the most epic trailers, and it makes you want to play their games. Like Hearthstone, there was no reason that trailer should have been like that. They have the most epic trailers, and it makes you want to play their games. Like Hearthstone, there was no reason that trailer should have been like that. Not gonna front though, this one has more of a Dishonored, Assassin's Creed type feel.
Just the sound of that ear getting pierced by the hook is so brutal.
Yeah, you hopped on right after it. It was right before this one.
I've been a huge fan of the Rogue ever since the original Diablo. Even seeing them come back as NPCs and mercenaries in Diablo 2's Rogue Encampment served as a great bridge between the games. With the setting of Diablo 4 being a larger world than we've ever played in before, we're excited to show you not just what the successors
Yeah, I want to play.
original rogues in the
I want to play
series
World of
have
Warcraft
been up
now,
to since the fall of their order,
especially
but
the
also
Shadowlands.
some of the other rogues in the world
That
of
one that they just
Sanctuary might
showed,
look like.
or the one that they showed
The
earlier.
mantra for Diablo 4
Man,
has been customization
probably one of the best I've seen in a long
the
time.
Rogue takes this to a whole new level. From the beginning, the Rogue has been an incredibly flexible class, able to adapt to any situation. Our goal is to let you create the kind of rogue that you want to play. Whether it's an unrivaled archer modeled after the original
Oh, you said Warcraft.
or a cloak and dagger rogue from the darkest alleys of Chaldeum. In Diablo 4, you will have the freedom
I never
to
played
create the rogue
Warcraft.
that you imagine by
You're actually the first
customizing
person I met that
looks, the
has.
background and the play style of your character. Please stick around for our segment later today, where I'll be joined by other members of the Diablo 4 team to share a closer look at the rogue class, as well as some of the open world gameplay that we're bringing to the game. Spoilers, those severed ears are not just for show. But Diablo 4 is not the only Diablo game we're talking about today. If you're looking for an authentic Diablo experience on mobile, we've got you covered.
Everybody's going mobile.
Diablo Immortal has everything you'd expect from a AAA action RPG. From the visceral combat and epic loot to an all-new story, bridging the gap between the events of Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. Later today, you can join the Immortal team, where they'll talk about some of the things they've learned from their recent alpha test and what's next for the game. But that's still not all.
Oh, okay.
We have one last bit of very exciting Diablo news to cover. When you hear us talk about the classes, the
So,
items,
you have to-
or the stories of the early
Yeah,
Diablo games,
everybody's going mobile
you may
nowadays.
have picked up on the absolute reverent tone we reserve
Elder
for
Scrolls
that golden
Online
era
has
of
been mobile for the
Diablo.
past 3 years.
Maybe you
2
share
years.
that love of the classics, and just hearing us talk about them makes you want to take on Mephisto or Baal one
Yeah,
more time.
I heard a lot about
Or
Darkspawn,
maybe
but
even for the first time. After all, some of our favorite moments happened a long time ago, and not just a
mobile games just
century
came a long way.
If so,
One
we
of the
have
ones
a
I play is
special surprise for you
Genshin.
today.
Yeah,
Let's check it out.
Genshin Impact. Mobile games just came a long way, and it is they're trying to make it literally like handheld games. Like if you got a PSP, Game Boy, that's how they're trying to make it, and it is dope. Definitely a learning curve.
Lord of Terror.
Yeah, it is.
Though this be our darkest hour, it may yet be your greatest moment.
Oh, so they're putting Diablo 2 on a new gen? Wow. A board game style should not look so beautiful. This is making me want to play Gauntlet Legends though, not gonna front. Actually, surprisingly, a lot of the games you don't need that much memory. I think majority of the stuff is like on the cloud and other forms like that. Freaking weird.
Not even death can save you from me.
I don't know. I might have to go get that. I might have to cop that one.
After more than 20 years, the Dark Wanderer has returned.
What do you think, Mouse?
again,
Do you think
travels
Diablo 2 is like the
always
best Diablo so far?
Diablo
Not even
2
counting the
is a
Immortal or
landmark game for Blizzard.
or 4.
Diablo 2 Resurrected is a full HD remaster of both the original game and the expansion, Lord of Destruction. It takes the 2D sprite-based classic that we love and brings it
Oh
into
yeah,
the
they need to
present
remaster Gauntlet
in
Legends.
3D, utilizing up-to-date graphical rendering and lighting technologies. It also includes modernizing all 27 minutes of cinematics.
You might need 2 phones then,
recreated
or
shot
just
for
get a
shot
camera.
with the explicit intention of
Get a camera
preserving
for your
both the
sensitive
look
stuff. Have your
and
phone for the
pacing
gaming.
of the original movies. Blizzard has a long history of games that we're proud of. And when we think about Diablo 2, we think about it as a definitive pillar in our foundation. Now, it's funny to think that some of you weren't even born when D2 was released, which makes it all the more important that we deliver an authentic experience.
No, that makes us old as hell.
Wherever you play. We want everyone to relive their memories or experience the game for the very first time on their platform of choice. And so we're excited to bring Diablo 2 Resurrected.
Oh, so what? You only play 1 and 2?
console, along with cross progression.
Because I'm not talking about the expansions. I'm just talking about
Are in love with the original?
the core
and
game.
Just wish it worked more seamlessly on modern computers. You can bring back all of that nostalgia exactly as you remember, and enjoy the game in its original 2D form, much like we did with StarCraft Remastered. Obviously,
People still play
there's a lot to
StarCraft?
talk about.
Wait,
Later
what?
Today, Diablo speedrunner Mr. Llama will host a roundtable with members of the development team on the dedicated Diablo channel. If you are a Diablo 2 fan, I encourage you to take a look. So,
I know, right?
from Diablo
No,
2
they have
to Burning Crusade Classic to the
they're coming out with like a Blizzard arcade,
It's a whole lot of looking back.
and it's starting at
And while we
93.
have teams dedicated to bringing these timeless experiences into your hands, It's actually a very small percentage of our developers working.
The question
on
is
these
which one, high school or
Far more
college?
people are working on the future of Blizzard. And in addition to
Well,
what we talked
we've even
about
been out
during
of
the
college
show,
for a while now.
we can't wait to tell you even more about our plans over the course of this year and beyond. If you had asked us 30 years ago what gaming would look like today, none of us could have predicted the current Blizzard lineup of games. The advances in technology are one thing.
I played against
but it's
Demos
really what those
trash.
advances have
Really?
enabled that's even
Why
more
would she do that?
if you think about the people who play games and the communities that have grown up around them.
But I
the
played
way
against Demos
people
trash today and we
instantly,
won.
no matter where they are in the world. The way people are increasingly able to express their identity and celebrate who they are through their favorite games, communities, and platforms. The explosion of things like streaming, cosplay.
Oh, you definitely need to play Gauntlet Legends.
It would have been hard to imagine any of that 30 years ago.
If I can find it again, because I got the N64, if I can find it again,
Excites us
our next
about
Extra Life event, everybody has to get together, and that's what we're playing.
that we're working on. Some of it you already know about.
Oh my God, people actually play it?
We look forward to talking to you about it when the time is right. Just like the real world, the world
Your mom is dope.
Diablo, StarCraft, Heroes of the Storm, Overwatch, and Hearthstone are diverse, expansive, and full of potential. We are not only iterating on the experiences that you've come to expect from us, we're also exploring different ways to express our worlds and welcome more players from more places into them. And we aspire to continue to lead
As far as I know,
priorities
might be able to find an emulator, play it on
toxicity
PC.
control, and to continue supporting causes that have a positive impact on the real world.
As far as I know,
We
might
want to
be able to
continue
find- Oh,
to
well, yeah,
bring
there we go.
those same feelings of joy and achievement that we all felt when we first defeated the Lich King
It's not the same as on the 64 though.
on hardcore mode. Because when we geek out on those experiences with others, we can't help but see the similarities between us and feel what's possible when we play together. Of course, there are new Blizzard worlds that we haven't visited quite yet. And when we do finally unveil those games and experiences, our hope is that you will see in them
Oh, they're gonna be doing a behind the
who you
scenes
are or where you're
of
from,
Overwatch 2 today.
they are
We'll be
spaces
watching that.
where you can create new stories, forge new friendships, and make memories worthy of lasting a lifetime. And through it all, our mission statement of being dedicated to creating the most epic
I'm glad you mentioned Amber, because that would have just seemed like some weird kink that y'all should have kept to yourself.
led by gameplay first, will continue to guide
But
our
yeah, well, that's a fact.
On behalf
That's a bona fide
of
fact.
everyone at Blizzard, thank you for being on this
Hell,
journey.
me, Flash, and Leo gonna be together next
It is
week.
the honor of my professional life to serve you, and the honor of all of us at Blizzard to be the caretakers of the world.
No, it's already been an hour.
We are so excited for what's to come this year,
Hold on, we'll let them finish.
next year, and the next 30 years.
No, it's already been an hour.
Now, what's coming next for the show? Well, it depends on where you watch. For those of you looking for an update on Overwatch, check out the behind-the-scenes look
Who you
into
telling?
the development of Overwatch 2 over on their dedicated channel right after the conclusion of opening ceremonies. There, you'll hear about Overwatch 2, new content, new features, including new
Oh,
maps,
that sucks.
hero missions, talent trees, and more of what we think will make Overwatch 2
Why she have to go to the vet?
gameplay experience. For World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Hearthstone, you'll get a closer look on their respective channels. And on the dedicated strategy channel,
Oh, yeah.
StarCraft Legends will be going head-to-head.
Yeah, when we type, we just try and keep it simple.
Once again, welcome to BlizzCon Live.
Oh, yeah.
Be good to one another. Welcome home.
Yeah, when we type, we just try and keep it
Before we kick things off, here's a little something from a previous BlizzCon headline. Be good to
Me?
Hey, thanks
Hold
for
on.
having us. We're Metallica. Thanks for having us at BlizzCon 2014.
Fuck Metallica, man.
We would love to be there this year, but obviously can't be. So here we are, and this is for you.
I hate them and I rock with them at the same time. But yeah, me, Flash, and Leo is all gonna be together next week. I might grab a 64 because I got GoldenEye. Hey, we might just play that. Like screw the 5. Oh wow, is she okay? I like I like how you're a mod and they held your message. Yeah, aren't you a mod though? That is funny. Yeah, no, the reason I don't like Metallica is because they ruined a move when I was about to get some. Okay. So she just want to cuddle with, she just wants to cuddle with mommy. Why are you just not following me? How are you a mod and you just not follow? Oh, okay. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna need you to pick a username and stick with it. I can't keep going back and forth with you and mod. Flash is the same thing. Flash picked up a new, oh, right. Alright, so you want me to go in and remove the Jay Young from the mods and just keep grabbing them out? Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you're remodded. I'll go in and unmod Jay Young then. I don't know how many mods. I don't know how many mods I can have, but you know, ain't no reason in having somebody being a mod if they can't use it.
Take a look to the sky before you die. It's the last time you will. Like a roll, magic roll, in the crumbling
So hopefully you won't get mod checked by yourself again. Oh, really? Alright. The Overwatch 2 behind the scenes is about to start. So I'm gonna have to call off Metallica and switch over to that one. So bear with me for a second. It looks like I'm picking up a lot of the TV again. Oh, it looks like they're almost done anyway. Because the chick this chick decided to have her music on a freaking shuffle. Play some baby making music. I show up to her room. We hanging out. We start kissing and everything. We start getting ready to go at it. I start undressing her, and next thing I know, I hear shit like this. I'm like, what in the blue hell? I was mad as hell. I hear shit like this. I'm like, what? I was ready to fight. I was mad as hell. Like, how? How are you gonna allow that to happen? You can't just put it on shuffle if you know you listen to all kinds of music. Like, how? How are you? That's like me. That's like me walking into. You can't just put it on shuffle. That's like me walking to the bedroom with Kitten, ready to go ham, and all you hear is Naruto's theme song come on. Walking to the bedroom with Kitten, ready to go ham. My shuffle will literally go from what is it? Signs of love making you a zodiac freak to she has said like nigga wait, how do we get to Japanese? And then turn around to flip to talking about way out. Like what? Like when did we start getting hype? Talking about way out. Like what? Like when did we start getting hype? Oh no! If I knew it was coming, it wouldn't have stopped me. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no! Normally it would not have stopped me. I was nowhere prepared for that. I was nowhere near prepared for what she was bringing. I was so mad. Like I started looking around like, oh, am I crowd surfing now? It's how we doing? I almost dove back on her. Like I started looking around like, oh, am I crowd surfing? Oh yeah. It's how we doing? Yeah. I almost dove back on her. If you know the translation and what's on meaning and everything, then yeah. That definitely gets awkward. Yeah. If you know the translation and what's on meaning and everything, then yeah. Okay, I did not. Okay, I don't want to be on his channel. I'll be on the Overwatch channel. All right, there we go. All right. Okay, I did not. Okay. I found the right channel this time. Before it was Enoch. All right, there we go. All right. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I found the right channel this time. While we're gearing up for this, I'm gonna go pour me another drink. This is what we've been waiting for.
Welcome everybody to BlizzCon. We know that you all want to hear more about Overwatch 2. Allow us to invite you behind the scenes to explain more of what we're doing and why.
Everybody, please hit record. Fingers crossed. We lost Scott.
It's off to a good start.
This is going great.
We've been assembling one of the best teams that I have ever worked with.
I'm nervous.
And I'm so proud of the progress that we have made together.
We really liked the stylized drop down.
Imagine that it's coming forward, boom, boom, this starts to spin. The scale and the scope of this game have meant that we've needed to grow substantially.
We have to...
Sorry. Let me start.
Overall, I think we've done incredibly well as a team moving to work from home.
They've done well, except for freaking Bastion, Torbjorn, Symmetra,
There have
Orisa.
definitely been challenges, but the team is really putting everything we've got behind this game.
To me, it's the next big step in the Overwatch universe. New heroes, game modes, major story beats.
With competitive and PvE, I see Overwatch 2 as the Overwatch for all
I
of
am
my
ready for. I
friends.
do want more
We're always
PvE.
inspired by what story and franchise development does with their animated shorts. We really wanted to bring that cinematic experience into the game.
You can invest in your heroes and grow them over time. I'm super geeked out about Overwatch 2.
I can't wait for people to play this game. It just gets better and better.
There are some things that we just can't do without a sequel. So thank you so much for your patience so far, and I hope you enjoy this behind-the-scenes look at Overwatch 2. All of our players at home, they want to see one of the new maps that we've never talked about before.
Really? I can just like.
I mean,
I can
they
just
barely
talk
talked about
about
Overwatch 2,
anything
like, at
that
all.
I want to.
Yes.
You're serving this up to the guy that is like unintentionally leaked information in past interviews.
You can do it officially now.
Okay, so one of the maps that I'm most excited
Exactly.
for in Overwatch 2 is our Rome
Overwatch
map.
has been out since 2015.
We always want Overwatch to feel like this globe-trotting adventure for our players. So we're having a lot of fun coming up with the Overwatch version of Rome.
We wanted a very romantic, sort of this powerful feeling of old world architecture. One of the most exciting things for me is
Can't
the
deny their
early
environments, though.
building of these maps, where we get to sit down together with key
their
people from the
environments
environment
have
team,
always been
level
beautiful.
designers, effects groups. We'll spend some time talking about moments in the game that we really want to see, like the Colosseum or a grand view of the hills of Rome in the backdrop. And then we'll go back and do a paint over,
Oh,
or
if y'all
we'll
don't let us
do
fight in
a
the
concept
Colosseum,
painting of certain
y'all
things
can
based
keep it.
on that.
We try to draw inspiration from as many different sources as possible. For example, one of our environment artists had just taken a trip to Rome, and he returned with thousands of pictures and was so excited to work on a map set in Italy.
There's a lot of ancient architecture in Rome that represents the empire that it used to be. So we brought some of that back. Some of the things that are destroyed in real life, we kind of rebuilt in a kind of an Overwatch style.
It's
Okay,
one of
what are
the
y'all
most
talking about?
beautiful pieces
I know y'all
of
talking
environment
German,
art
but
that
what do
I
y'all
think
mean?
we've made for the entire game, and it just absolutely took my breath
I
away.
studied Japanese and French. I'm not even good at both of them.
Can we reveal more maps?
Yes, Scott. Scott, why don't you have the honor? Why don't you reveal, like, is there an artified, like, let's pick an artified one.
I know what map I want to talk about. It's the one that I just get super excited about. New York City.
I want that
New York
Widow-
City.
I want that
is
Widowmaker
just
figure that
an
he has.
Amazing Overwatch location.
We're really striving
I
to
hope
make it as
not.
authentic as
That
possible.
would be
while
cool, but I
still
hope
putting
not.
this
There's
Overwatch
way too
spin on
many
it.
There's
characters
a lot
with
of
grenades
amazing
and stuff.
buildings and architecture pieces that just,
Wouldn't be
especially
anything
for
left.
artists, stands out a lot. And they usually use this kind of Art Deco style from the 1920s, 1950s.
Oh,
We
fair
started
enough.
in an area that's a little bit like the village. There's some smaller shops there. There's a fire station, little pizza places, and things that people that are familiar with New York City will either recognize or maybe see the reference that we're trying to make with some of our different
They need a
locations.
Chicago
It
one.
feels like something you haven't seen in other games before because it's uniquely Overwatch.
All right, I'm gonna
Well, we
look
should
that
move
up.
on. Otherwise, we just have to reveal more maps. So, we were talking about PvP, and you know, one thing that I think is really interesting
hear about
about
PvE.
PvP in Overwatch 2 is some of the philosophical changes we're making to the approach.
PvP feels different and new. We're upgrading our combat feel. The roles are playing differently. When it comes to all new maps, it's a pretty big departure from where we are
When you
on
put it like
live
that,
right
yeah.
now. So I can't wait
We
to
need
see
that.
where we end up with it by the time we launch this thing.
We're also experimenting with the idea we call role passives, which are passive abilities that a hero can have based on what role they are. For example, currently in our internal builds, the tank heroes all have knockback reduction against them, and they also generate less ultimate charge for enemies that are shooting at them. Damage dealing heroes have a movement speed bonus, which is great for flanking around the map. And healing heroes, support heroes have automatic healing that kicks in after they haven't taken damage for a while, very similar to Mercy's passive, but a little bit of a lower rate.
One of the more shocking
No, all they're gonna
changes
do is nerf the
that
healers
we've been
again.
exploring in
That's all they ever
Overwatch
do.
2 PvP is a change to the tank role entirely. That's applied to all of the tanks. We want to try to make them more toe-to-toe brawlers and less characters that just stand back and protect other people.
So, for example, for Reinhardt, we've given him 2 charges of Fire Strikes, so he can throw Fire Strikes a lot more aggressively and more often. Also, his charge, he's able to cancel it now, and he can
Good.
steer it more
They should've
aggressively,
been
so
did
you
that.
can, you know, not quite turn a corner, but you can definitely more accurately pin targets. And because you can cancel it, it allows you to use it much more aggressively and
They
really
did
go after
need
those
to
key
fix
targets
that.
without feeling like you're going to sacrifice all of your positioning, everything to get there. He's almost more terrifying now with his be able to unleash his full arsenal more often than kind of just being the guy with a shield.
The changes to Reinhardt that we're trying, and they might not ship, that's just the reality, but the changes that we're trying right now are to try to embrace more of that instinct that players have when they want to play a big, burly character that looks aggressive and feels like it should be aggressive.
Shortly after BlizzCon, we spun up this group, our Combat Field Group, to really just work on what happens when a player
obviously
holds
the Bastion
the
still ain't gonna do nothing but
We're
send a
putting a ton
fucking
of
turret.
effort into looking at all of our characters and trying to give them even a more visceral weapon feel.
From sound to VFX to animation to the design of these units, all new sounds for a lot of our weapons in the game, and a whole new sound system that's driving it. And we didn't just level up a unit, we leveled up the rest of the game.
When we first started working on Overwatch, we spent quite a bit of time working on gunfire sounds and just general combat feel to make it feel really awesome. We're revisiting pretty much everything. Nothing's off the table, so we're looking at even kind of small things such as quick melee attacks that every hero has. So they have kind of new audio pass and a new kind of feel and visual effect when you hit things.
One of the bigger efforts we're undertaking for Overwatch 2 is what we're calling our Weapon 2.0 Sound Pass. What this is a big overhaul to the weapon
I like
systems
what they did with
in the
Reinhardt
game.
right now.
That means the way the gun
liking
feels
it.
in your hands. You could feel the ammo running out as you're getting lower on the clip. We've really tried to amplify those sounds to better encapsulate the gameplay and the gunplay that comes with Overwatch 2.
One of his biggest weaknesses right now is
another key for the
the
weapons
fact
was
that
getting them
his-
to feel like they're in the
all of his
environment.
techniques
This
take
meant
so long to
working
charge.
with convolution reverb. It's a new
can't
system
cancel
that we've
his
implemented
charge.
into Overwatch. It's a way that we
And
can capture
you
the
have
acoustics
pretty much
of an
no control over
environment
the charge.
and
You're
transport
pretty much
it
going
onto
straight.
the sounds that we're using. So we
So I
went
like
and
what they're doing
captured
with him right now.
tales of guns in different environments through our weapon shoots.
exactly. If they wanted the sounds, they should have did that. The sounds is more for like Battlefield
And
and,
then we've
COD.
cut them and applied it so that we can support a lot more environments. Now we're supporting outdoor, urban outdoor, warehouse tales, tight tunnels, small rooms, and it gives a lot more presence to the weapons and
Like,
the way
that's
that they
cool and all,
react in the world.
and
shooter
for the game
genre has
aesthetic,
evolved
that'd
a
be
lot
dope,
since
but
Overwatch 1 came
still.
out. On top of that, I think we really want to push the visceral nature of how we do combat. So we focused a lot, not just on the wonderful
fine.
sound effects, but also with how the gun moves
Thank
as you
you.
shoot. So you can really feel every single shot leaving the chamber. And there's a lot of subtle little tweaks we have
Wait,
to do
so is-
on
are-
the gameplay engineering
are they saying
side
that
to make
the controllers
feel
gonna rumble
really
as you
visceral.
shoot?
Everything from making sure that the camera shakes are crisp, making sure that if you get shot, you know exactly these tight indicators show up on the outside of your reticle. All these things play into making the game feel not just tight and responsive, but also modern and up to date. Take 76, for example. What we wanted to do in Overwatch 2 with his weapon was make it really feel incredibly powerful, and that happens with a bunch of different elements that mix together. But it really feels like the gun is almost just outside of your control. A lot of that comes down to this camera shake technology, where every time you fire the weapon, you want to feel like it's running through your entire body, and the camera shake gives that extra bite to every single shot out of the chamber. It makes him feel really good.
I can understand that one.
You guys got a sneak peek of Sojourn from last BlizzCon. She's been under development for quite a while, and she's actually quickly at this point become a lot of people's favorites in-house. When we
Yeah,
look
I don't know
back
why
at
they did that.
Overwatch when it was originally
I've
created,
tried playing with
there was a
with
lot
that
of
character
heroes
on
that were
Call of
made from a gameplay
Like, it's
standpoint
freaking annoying.
surrounding a weapon type. For example, Pharah was based on a rocket launcher hero. Widowmaker is clearly like kind of the sniper. We thought there was a weapon that was kind of
if somebody's
missing
near
that
the
would be a lot
edge
of fun to
and
play
you
with,
try
and
and
that's
charge,
a railgun. It's
even if
so
they're
much
not
fun in
near the
playtest to have this really powerful shot.
They
that
lengthen
can,
his charge, so
rip
you're
through
going
enemies
over.
if you really are accurate.
And now
with
you
it.
lost
she's,
tank.
she's all about that aim skill. So if you got that aim skill, you'll love her.
We're still exploring new game modes, and we're also
Yeah, I definitely like
older
I like
game
the screen
modes
shaking.
that
That is a
people
good
are
touch.
more critical of. We're of the mindset maybe 2CP doesn't exist in Overwatch.
That's gonna be
2,
one of those
and maybe
subtle
there's
things, though.
a new cool game mode that replaces it. We really want Overwatch 2 to feel like the next evolution, a true sequel to the first game, not an add-on. It's not a small part. It's not an extension of the original game. This is an evolution and a replacement to the original game, and I think it's exciting.
Now, if the controller shakes every time you shoot, I can understand that. That is just going to be
Missions
annoying.
are probably one of the things that's the hardest to wrap your head around if you've never played one of them.
I guess it depends on intensity. Yes, PvE. This is what they need more.
Hero missions is for these to be this co-op PvE experience.
I personally only play competitive mode. Like, I'm all about that competition. And
Yeah,
I have
dude.
friends that they don't want to do that at all. So I'm really looking forward to a game that I can play hours and hours with my friends who aren't in competitive. And it's also something that I'm interested in.
Hero missions are the content that
They
people
don't
are
capture the
playing
flag PvE?
as they are leveling up their heroes. And so for a system like this to really sing, you need a lot of mission. We don't want players to feel
I like how
they're just
Ash
in this
looked a lot
grind to get
smoother
to the
now.
top.
And there's a lot of really, really good back-end technology.
now
that
he's
we're
doing his
exploring.
now his
So
smash
the
goes
heroes
360.
are constantly bringing their personality and some light story to these hero missions as well.
The goal is to make
Yeah, it does.
as
Yeah.
many as possible, hundreds of hero missions. We've explored a lot of different ways of getting to that much content. Still have like different sets of enemy units that people will be fighting against, and there's
Time's
different
starting to
hero
change.
mission types.
That
At the
time's
same
starting to
time,
change.
hero
Yeah,
missions
yeah,
can
you
take
definitely have a
place
point
in
there.
all of the multiplayer maps that we've done.
I thought you said you're
And
surprised
we're
it's not
also
starting to get dark.
adding new spaces onto some of these maps.
It's a huge challenge for the art team. We take maps that a lot of people love and recognize, and we have to add a lot more art and level design to it.
In this one hero mission playtest, we came up to an area in Kings Row that usually has a gate on it. Suddenly,
waiting
that
till they release
gate
the alpha and
opened,
beta.
and I saw a new area
already
of
know I'm
Kings
about
Row
all
that I
the
had
that
never
joint.
seen before.
You may be playing a payload game type, and the payload may decide to take this new route instead of going the usual route.
That was really, really cool. It was like this eye-opening special moment.
Lan, our lead tech artist
Yes,
on the
I had
environment
invi-
side,
yes,
very early
do
on our
that.
own free time, made a prototype of a sandstorm on the Temple of Anubis map.
And at the time, we didn't know what we wanted to do with that, but it looked awesome.
We looked at it and went, oh my God, we absolutely have to do this.
So we put some new technology in place that allows us to do this dynamically. You start the mission off, clear day. Midway through the mission, suddenly this sandstorm or heavy weather would show up.
It made the world just feel so much
If they
more
could put that on
alive.
RNG, Joe, if they could put that on
There's a
RNG,
sunset,
that
daytime,
would be
nighttime. But
crazy.
depending on where you are in the world, these look different. California or Hollywood would have what we call a California sun. In New Bonnie, there's a great African sun that happens there. You start to get a sense of space and mood. This is what really brings the levels to life.
For me, the dynamic world's exciting. Just seeing these dramatic landscapes, the wind and the atmosphere blowing by. It's a much more
Nobody's on.
cinematic experience for the
Like somebody
player.
shot the door.
Before you start a mission, you look at a map. It's nighttime in Necropolis, or there's a sandstorm in Necropolis. Players can make some comp choices based on knowing this information.
Yes.
Characters like Hanzo or Widowmaker start to be a little more valuable because they have abilities that allow them to see through the sand more clearly.
Are we going to talk about any of
That
the
is dope. I like
types of
that.
objectives in hero
Reckless,
missions?
you're trash.
Yeah, let's talk about the objectives. Players are being asked to do different things from one hero mission to the next so that they all feel really fresh to the player.
For example, we have Gather and Return, where you're trying to go and grab these different canisters to kind of safeguard them so they don't go off and affect the population in a negative way. It creates this really cool tension in the world where, on the one hand, you're trying to split up and go grab all these canisters to be as efficient as possible, but at the same time, now you're having these sort of special enemy units spawn that are really difficult, and if you kind of get caught by yourself, it turns into a pretty bad situation really quickly, and it feels extremely cooperative and like a very different way to interact
I
with
like
the
that.
Overwatch universe.
We're
This is making
experimenting
me
with
more
all
and
sorts
more
of
hyped
ideas, and
for
just internally
freaking
we have names like
Overwatch 2.
Wall of Death,
Fuck you and
Scavenger
Bastion.
Hunt, and Kill
That's
Quest,
why we
and
bodied
all
his
these
ass earlier
new
today.
mechanics and enemies for people to experience. Players will be able to jump in night after night, play different hero missions, and then work through the progression system, leveling up their heroes.
Whole time, Reckless, this, some of the game modes and stuff that they're showing right now would work well with me and your conflicting gameplay.
We started to talk about progression, and we showed the very early version of our talent system, which I think was really cool. We had that one talent where like Meg became the rolling snowball, which was a big hit. We've really blown that system out.
I'm real excited about talents. You can play the same hero in so many different ways. Now with a skill tree, you can have fun every night doing different things and kind of experimenting.
Yeah, the talent system is like really deep and rich, and every single hero has different trees. You might open up 76's tree, and as you're leveling and picking new talents, you're starting to feel your hero change. We've had some pretty hilarious versions of the healing one where his biotic field travels with him. It also repulses enemies. We called it the snowplow build, where 76 is like running through spaces, pushing enemies away from them.
Designing these is super fun because it's like we get to break all the rules that we've sort of established for ourselves, and we get to really take the gloves off and do crazy things like Junkrat can dual-wield blade launchers, and Mercy be able to area effect res their whole team at once at super long range.
Much of it
walls.
What are you
It's
talking
been a ton
about?
of fun, kind of like mad scientists making all this stuff.
You're all used to using these kind of kinetic weapons like Soldier 76's rifle or fire attack like what Reinhardt's Flame Strike does. As soon as you start to mutate these things with talents, all of a sudden maybe you're doing freeze damage or electrical damage. But it gives the animators a bunch of crazy opportunities. You know, the animations are going to change to show them freezing and shattering. And if you shock someone with a lightning attack, they can shake in place and stun, maybe chain to other enemies. All sorts of stuff to make you feel like you're controlling the battlefield in novel ways.
I'm loving
it. As a
it.
huge RPG nerd myself, the first
I'm
time
so
I opened
hyped
up the
for
talent tree
Overwatch 2 now.
systems, it was like, oh my gosh, this is speaking my love language. Like, I just want to plan, and I want to see like where do I want to invest, and how am I going to play this character.
Yes, it's so great. And you start at the bottom of the tree. Like,
Yes,
oh my,
exactly.
You did
like,
kind of hop in
Tracer
like at
gets
the
to
perfect
do
time, though.
what?
Yeah.
And then you start working and kind of planning how you're going to get down there. It's like, it's so fun.
You have to pick your talents and everything based on the freaking map, based
When we
on
look
the
back
environment.
at BlizzCon 2019, and we talk about
dope.
some of the criticisms that we had, one of them as a development team that we felt was that the combat was just not engaging enough. So the fact that our combat
they have
wasn't
showed a lot.
highly
They have
engaging
showed a
to
lot so
us
far.
as players meant that we had a
In my
problem
opinion,
with the enemy
that
units,
was the best thing.
and that they
right,
just
so
weren't
far.
feeling interesting enough.
Just because we show something to the public, it doesn't mean that that is what it's going to be. If we make discoveries where things aren't working how we want, they're not reading how we want, they're not fun enough, we're totally down to reinvestigate, reiterate, and just really find ways
That's
to
how Bastion
level
lost
kind
his
of
shield.
all aspects of things until they feel good.
I would say a major focus of all of 2020 was to make the null sector enemy units more engaging. And some of this was adding new units and evolving other units that we had.
So now they're the
Interesting
Winston type
combat
unit.
for us is varied combat for us. So sometimes we're going to ask you to protect something in Overwatch 2. Sometimes we're just going to ask you to get someplace. Sometimes we might ask you to escort something across a map while it's being attacked. And so it's a different type of spawning, and it's a different type of units that are in there, and it's a simpler objective.
There's a lot of units Aaron is talking about. Lots of different units, lots of different types. They serve different purposes. You do different things to them.
I really do want
It's really
that
going to
one
help a
to
lot
make
of us
figure
find the
in
fun and make
the
sure that
background
Overwatch
of-
2 is a blast.
That Tracer too.
One of those sets of enemies is what we internally call objective units. And they're typically units that don't even attack players. The simplest version would be something like
Each
the
map,
Breacher.
yeah.
It's two legs with this huge bomb on its back.
From what they're talking
It's
about, yeah,
built to
you
do
can.
one thing: slowly and methodically march towards its objective, and then it transforms, and the bomb opens up like a flower. It starts spinning and charging up, and you hear this awesome sound, and you know you have a little bit of time before it's going to explode, and you have to take it out.
We have units like the slicers, which you guys have seen before. They're little, we call them the chickens, like little chicken snares. They run really fast. You know, we have a guy we're experimenting with right now who flies and drops these bombs that create these kind of ever-expanding smoke fields that you have to escape from, but because they're super deadly. So you really get to use your mobility options to kind of escape that.
There's things like the Polar. You could be moving through these darker alleys, and as soon as you hear that polar spawn, it suddenly becomes like really spooky and kind of scary.
This very tall, elegant-looking character that's blindfolded, 3 orbs that circle around her as her eyes, and we basically spun those orbs around her head.
I cannot wait to
launched
see
them
the
at the
cosplays
player,
that come over
and then
to
it
you.
activates this tractor beam, and it's bringing you in, and then you get this awesome anticipation of the hair opening up, so you know what's about to happen.
Oh, I cannot wait to see the
One
cosplay.
thing we've just recently been experimenting with is this idea of elite units. We didn't want the elite units to feel like they're just, oh, this guy's got double health and double damage. We want to make sure the elite units feel like they have different behaviors and have different attacks. So, for example, an Omnic Grunt, normally he fires his gun, he dies pretty simply. If you fight elite Grunts, his weapon fires in a burst fire pattern. It's very deadly if you're close. And if you manage to take them out, they don't just die right away. They instead can crawl on the ground towards you, and you try to back away because if they get to you, they can explode.
Artillery at BlizzCon.
Okay, that one's
we're
kinda
all just
iffy.
staring at this, and we're like, what
I
are
don't know how I
we
feel
going to
about
do
that
to
one.
level this up?
One of the things we really felt wasn't coming through was the damage states. We intend for players to shoot these guns off, but currently it's not reading as something that can happen in the game easily.
We changed the design, we changed the animation, and we go back and forth and just continually iterate.
We decided, hey, you know what? We're gonna just delete half of these damage states, so now it's super readable.
From an animation standpoint, we decided on spinning barrel version. Just did this really nice kickback. The tip of the barrel opens up when it's about to fire and shifts into place, and boom!
It's
Okay,
really
that's
amazing
dope.
to be
That's kinda dope.
fighting an artillery unit,
I like that.
and you can see the guns on the side, and as you're shooting the guns, they're actually visibly taking damage, and then you can blow them off, and it reacts and kind of stumbles to the side, and really makes you feel like you're there, and it's super fun.
In a lot of the stuff we've showed so far, you're fighting Null Sector. These are evil killing machines intent on marching you down. The way you're going to stop them is by shooting them, and we want to make sure that feels responsive and visceral. Really making sure that when they take a hit, it feels like their whole body has been punched, almost like hit by a truck. That's what really sells this fantasy that you're playing these superheroes. One of the cool pieces of technology that we created was what we call chain hit reactions. Oftentimes you'll find Null Sector bunched up marching maybe a half a dozen units abreast. You expect if you shoot one, they're gonna knock into their buddies. So we make that happen. Turns out it's really fun too.
So pretty much they're more interactive. That's what I got out of that.
One of the things that we showed last year at BlizzCon was the new looks for our heroes. The theory kind of going in was like, you want to preserve the essence of your hero, but also kind of show that a hero's evolved and kind of changed and moved forward. So we have a lot more new looks. So I'm excited to see how players and fans react to all of the ones that we've done so far.
Maybe we'll share some of those new looks today, which would be cool.
We're going to reveal McCree's new look for Overwatch 2 as well as Pharah, and we're really excited to show off some of our first villains with Reaper and Widowmaker. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about technical wear, kind of like technical clothing. What that really is using very techie fabrics, as well as having very intricate but functional straps designed in a way that it's very aesthetically pleasing.
So they focused a lot on...
With McCree, we took a couple of different approaches.
They focused a lot on
He's
a lot
got
of
this
the detail.
classic cowboy look that it's really hard to mess with, because if you try to make him too sophisticated or too techie, it might not feel right for the character. But as a concept artist, you always want to change things around and try different shapes and silhouettes. So we did identify as Red Serape as the main thing for McCree. We also tried a couple different things with McCree's cowboy hat. We didn't really want to mess with that too much, because that's a very iconic part of him. So that's another piece that we kept.
You need to get
tried
it.
some
When it
retro
drops, you need to
cowboy
get it.
looks that mixed in some tech here and there. Some that were a little bit more techie than others, some that were a little bit more classic cowboy.
What they should have did with McCree, what they could have did, is give him a steampunk.
A nice kind of like
give him a
more
steampunk
aged
look.
What's different
It'll
about
give him
Pharah
that
and
tech.
some of our other heroes is
They're
Pharah's
getting that
completely
modern,
covered in armor.
but
We didn't
also
want to change
stick
her
with
silhouette
character.
too much. It was more about experimenting on different colors. So it felt really appropriate for her to be the one to harken back to those original Overwatch colors of white and blue. One of the things that we wanted to update on Pharah was her visor. Instead of being completely opaque and reflective, we tried a little bit more of a transparent approach, and being able to see through it a little bit now allows us to see some more of her emotions. Reaper was actually the ones I was very excited to work on because I could see a lot of potential in how we can integrate his
he's probably the
cloak
easiest.
and his cowl and his armor and how we can make all those shapes really sing within that classic, Reaper silhouette. We tried a couple takes with the first pass, like completely silver arms, more layers to his jacket. Reaper's mask is obviously pretty sacred to us, but the thing you'll notice immediately is that it's now completely silver. Instead of the bone white, he's got this like almost like deadly edgy silver that just gives him that classic Reaper look. With Widowmaker, we started with the idea stage, exploring a breadth of ideas. We tried things like a more insectoid approach, treasure hunter. One of them made her feel like a classic Bond villain, so we kind of steered it back towards one of the more cyberpunk-looking ones, almost like a futuristic femme fatale, which is basically what Widowmaker is. But she even feels more upgraded.
Her whole thing is like
so I'm super glad that we went down this route. We played with different hairstyles too. Widowmaker has the really long ponytail that's really a key part of her look. And we really liked the hairstyle on one of the designs that was more of a braid, and it was really interesting look that also preserves Widowmaker's original silhouette with that long ponytail.
We've been working a lot with our Domino engine and making our cloth look better. Now that we have this cloth tech, we're going to be able to make some really cool, unique silhouettes that will help them stand out from other heroes. We put a lot of time and effort into our face rig, and what I mean by that is we're gonna be able to get really close to these characters, and it's gonna feel really cool. It is absolutely worth the time and the effort to invest in technology, and that way we can make these characters do more things that we haven't really been able to do before.
It's been super exciting working on the new looks for Overwatch 2, and it's just been so inspiring to watch the team try things that we've never tried before, and I just can't wait to show off more in the future.
Oh wow.
Overwatch 2 is probably the largest opportunity we've had since the inception of the franchise to really expand what Overwatch even means to our players.
I mean, you're still dressed.
In Zero Hour, we saw that some of the heroes got back together, but we're also seeing that there seems to be a second huge Omnic uprising. We're gonna learn who's behind that uprising, why that's happening, how globally spread is it.
The story and franchise development group, they were really the torchbearers of what the big story is that we were going to tell for this game.
We have a lot of interaction with them. They're working on in-game cinematic intros and outros for every one of our story missions.
It's been really great to see this collaboration grow and develop. The story is just a little more integrated into our missions than it ever really has been before. All the available heroes get dialogue for a given mission. We have NPCs, we have multiple hero choices.
We have all sorts of events that are happening that are driving players to interact with each other or parts of the environment or other characters.
The world of Overwatch is this bright, shiny future. So how do you take that bright, shiny future and create conflict in it? How dark can the world of Overwatch go?
The different challenges that these characters are going to have to overcome in Overwatch 2 are things that they haven't ever dealt with before or dealt with on this scale. So what we had to do was literally strip it down to this bare bones of where are these characters in their lives. Overwatch has been disbanded, and now there's a situation where the world is in trouble again, and the world needs the heroes again, but they're not allowed to be doing what they were supposed to be doing.
We started to book these off-site locations so we could brainstorm over and over different versions of what the Overwatch 2 story campaign could be.
And we basically had these whiteboards that we were carting around everywhere.
The room was filled with whiteboards, and we would just write every day story beats with the characters and who was doing what and where, and oh my gosh, we forgot this character.
We had these giant sticky notes, and each one of them would be a mission with a bunch of notes on it. You know, somebody say, well, what if we moved Rio to the end? And they'd physically grab it off the wall and stick it on the end.
And we did this for a while, you know, until we all felt that it was pretty close to what we wanted.
Then we could send it to our writers' rooms. The writers' rooms then had a much clearer direction of where we wanted this process to go.
Ultimately, we come up with something that we think is right for the game, and then we pitch it back to the game team, and they point out everything that we missed.
And that allows us to actually back up and go and make it right and make it better.
Because the scale of this story is so huge, it takes place over the whole world, basically. It just requires a constant iteration, constant refinement to make the story as best as we can make it.
From writing, we go to storyboards. The storyboards get crafted with the edit. From there, it'll go to a previs department where they'll start to flesh it out in 3D. Once we've kind of figured out our camera work and our cinematography, that'll then go to the animation department. And then we end up going right into the game engine.
One of our challenges was to figure out how to integrate this story and this narrative with the gameplay.
So if the intro cinematic ends with this huge battle, this huge war, when you get into the game, it has to mesh and feel the exact same way and blend together.
We really are also trying to get the music to be equally as consistent from in-game cinematics straight through to the mission. Adam Burgess, our lead composer, has been working with the IGC team, with the game team, developing themes for all of the heroes, all of the locations.
As the cinematic director, whatever we're crafting should never override the gameplay. We want to make sure that the player's experience going from the cinematic to the gameplay is seamless and it feels like a completely immersive experience.
The engineers, we have to find a way to actually make that come to fruition. The Choreo tool is a tool that allows people to coordinate different events to happen at the same time. Like in Rio, if you played our demo, one of the buildings explodes. And so that kind of event needs to happen as you're running by, and you need to have it timed, because if it blows up too early, then you don't see it. It allows story moments in missions that interact with the environment, that interact with our characters.
The new tech, the new abilities that we have now are allowing us to push our storytelling farther than we could have previously.
What's also really powerful about Choreo is that, if somebody has an idea, they can mock things up really quickly.
We got to show the Widowmaker making this awesome introduction. Casey was able to quickly put a really rough prototype in Choreo. And Philip would come in and on the fly, he's making quick changes. They play tested something that would normally take weeks. It was done in like a matter of days.
Each story mission has its own custom map built for it, and these maps are absolutely gigantic.
So India is one of our biggest maps, and it's a fun map because it has a few story beats that we've taken from recent comics and characters in the game.
We've written a history for each city so that the cities feel lived in. And I think that informs the artists so that they know what it is that the city has been through.
Gothenburg was our chance to show Torbjorn's workshop. We created a space that kind of fits his height. So there's step ladders and scalable tables. We designed the space as if we were Torbjorn. Molten steel is pouring out of walls. It's pretty epic when you walk into it. Toronto was under siege by Null Sector when the players arrive here. There's a dynamic snowstorm. So as you make your way through the level, the snow is slowly building up. Suddenly by the end, the characters are caught in this gigantic snowstorm and they must fight their way through.
In Overwatch 2, we want to give you a choice to be able to play this character or that character. So we're designing a lot of systems around how their relationships develop over the course of the story missions in the campaign.
We have a cast of many characters, all on screen, all at the same time. And it's fantastic to actually see them all interacting and working together in ways that we've never actually seen. We've always thought about it and hoped for it, but now it's actually happening.
It actually requires us to have a whole new branching dialogue system. If you happen to have Genji and Mercy in the second mission of the game, you might get different dialogue that's about their relationship.
Our voice actors bring the characters to life in ways that everybody has fallen in love with, from inside Blizzard to the
voice actors
fans.
are so dope too.
Just to hear this collection of actors
I love Mercy
all
as a
together,
character
all
and as a voice actor.
It's been
I
a
would
real
marry her.
treat.
On the spot.
I wish people could see how many people are involved when
Fuck,
it comes
no,
to
they better
something
not
like
allow that
telling
nigga
the
to
story
roll.
of Overwatch. It doesn't just come from a singular person. It comes from a group, and it's a really talented, fun group that all works together.
We've been developing what we hope is one of the best stories ever. There's some key story moments that I'm really excited about, and I really can't wait to see how people react to it.
Oh. She doesn't do
We've been
at all what I thought
talking
she would
about
do.
the game, about this universe. I know you all
That she would've
love
been more
it
of a
so
brawler.
much.
Right now, we can sit down and have a night of Overwatch 2 and have it be a really fun experience. And I think we need some more time till we can say it's perfectly polished in the way that we want it.
We've made such incredible strides since we first announced this and showed it to the community at BlizzCon in 2019.
The thing that
I just need
I'm most
them
excited
to
about is
drop
that
it already.
moment
Or at least give us a
when
release
we
date.
hand the game over to the players.
I mean, that's not too much to ask,
Want to
right?
create something that really moves people, really touches people.
That's why we do it. We create the game because we want it to become part of your life and for you to experience it.
For Overwatch 2, we're upping the bar.
It's kind of 5 games in one. It's a huge undertaking.
The new tech and the new aesthetics for the new looks bring you closer to the characters that you love, and we're just getting started.
The fidelity of the gameplay experience is much richer.
We are making cinematics that push the boundary of what we can do to tell
looks
stories.
Like they're doing a great
We want
job
this
on it.
dynamic world. We want things to feel alive.
I'm really looking forward to being able to expand the world
They
of
can
Overwatch
definitely get
for
another
our
6
players.
years out of this game.
We're really trying to tell this epic story.
In order to make a game great, it takes time, energy, collaboration.
We have just an incredibly professional team of designers and artists and engineers.
We just love bringing this world to you guys. So many cool characters. It's just a blast working on it.
Our goal is for
For the
Overwatch
record, there should
2
be
to
blank.
be the worthy successor to the first game, to be the next evolution, and to be a true sequel.
We have big plans. So thank you for sticking with us.
We're gonna cross the finish line, and I know it's gonna be awesome.
I hope people just end
Oh,
up
you can play
loving
this at
playing it
airport
over and
now.
over.
That's what we want to try and capture. I'm jumping in, I'm playing. Let's go be heroes.
I want this game. Give us a release date already. Fuck. I want the release date. Why is there so much tags? Wait, okay, so how do I do that?
Dolby is the proud partner of BlizzConline.
Yeah. That. Oh my god, it's going. Oof. That game is about to be crazy. They need to go ahead and release it. Oh, y'all gotta like, y'all gotta like.
Our fates are entwined.
Rally at my position. I feel unstoppable.
The best gets better. Let me show you how it's done.
Turning up the heat. I'm ready. Give me your best shot.
Alright, since we have Crafty Mouse, we are gonna go to the cocktail. I think we're on week 3 now.
You can't catch me!
I've got you in my sights.
Now we're moving!
I haven't played yet. That game is freaking weird, but it's fun.
I've still got it.
Oh, it goes through my birthday. Hey, hey, hey. Alright, so we're waiting on, since we got Crafty Mouse, we're waiting on the Diablo to start. I might as well let the commercial go. Wait on the Diablos to start. So we're gonna switch up, and I guess I'm gonna go play something right now. Everything is so far and in between. Hold on, give me a second. Play something right now. Everything is so far and in between. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, it's not too much of a present, unfortunately. Sorry, getting caught. But while we're waiting for the Diablo to start, I'll let y'all have a laugh while I rage out to some Overwatch. Cause I should be able to get through a match, not a comp, but just a match before it starts. So enjoy. But yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with Overwatch 2. I am so hyped for that freaking game now. Oh my god. That joint is gonna be dope as fuck. Go and go to Quick Play. Quick Play Classic. I wish they would drop it on my birthday.
Traveling to Havana. Prepare your defenses. Select your hero.
Wanna be. I ain't been a DPS in a while. We're gonna go with the adorable little demon.
Our world is worth fighting for.
Everyone signed their life insurance policies?
Also gotta figure out what
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
Peace be upon you.
Oh shit! That's right. I gotta factory move. Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1. Attackers
Yeah.
incoming.
She has no life insurance.
Stop the payload.
Her life insurance is the igloo. And we're playing in a handicap.
Here comes the stopping power.
Good night.
Junkrat primed and ready.
Is that a Mercy? I wrote it. I wrote it.
For your safety, please stay behind. Let's see you get past this.
Enemy turret here.
No fucking way did that kill me. I don't agree with that.
That could have gone better.
I'm trying to look and play at the same time, which I'm obviously failing at.
Deine Hexe ist da.
Speaking of failing, shout out to Helsinki Bridge. That joint is hilarious.
Enemy turret.
Enemy turret down. 瞧瞧这个。
Step right.
Come on.
I'm out here with you.
Knocking them off. For your safety, please move behind the barrier. Thank you.
That is how we do that. That is how we do that. Son of a bitch. Fucking that. I'm feeling so sorry for Bob. They be throwing Bob right head first. They're like, hey Bob, go see if you can live. Bob is just like, man.
turret is no more.
Hello.
Oh man, they're doing the Diablo Immortal.
动住，不许走！
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
Okay, Arissa, obviously you suck. So, you didn't think I was going after that, nigga.
For your safety. We know who's really on top. 60 seconds remaining. Assistance would be appreciated.
Wait, where's the killer?
Need help.
Behind you. I want to say that.
Team up for special attack.
Experience tranquility.
What a waste of all.
Step right up.
For your safety, please be 10 seconds.
Stop there.
And that's how that's done. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead over to we're gonna go to the Diablo Immortal channel.
Play of the game.
So bear with me for a second. Didn't realize it started already. I apologize. So bear with me for a second. Didn't realize it started already. I think this is probably gonna be how we end it. The below. I think this is probably gonna be how we end it. There we go.
And getting the loot
Coming
was
in kinda
pretty
late, sorry.
awesome. Do you guys have any like favorites?
Oh yeah, my favorite is in the Library of Zoltan Kulle. Sort of peppered around the zone, you'll find these hidden tomes, and if you collect enough of them, you can combine them together and it essentially unlocks a secret level. And so it could be a level where you go in, fight some mobs, get some cool loot and come back out, or it can actually even summon a world boss like a Hydra that everyone in the zone has to come together and kill. And so I like the randomness there because it feels like doing it over and over, you could get a different result and it kind of keeps the excitement up. So one of the things also new is our Paragon system. And we were able to design something from scratch for this game with all the learnings we have from Diablo 3. So my question is actually for Wyatt. What was that like designing a new Paragon system?
It was cool. It was cool. We had Paragon in Diablo 3, but once you reach Paragon 800, it became a more sort of just a linear path. And being able to say, okay, we know that Diablo Immortal is a game that's going to, have a long lifetime. We're going to provide content updates to it. We're going to be adding and expanding on all of the features. How can we design a Paragon system that is exciting now, but will also be exciting years into the future? And that's where the idea of let's have multiple trees. And when we want to expand on the Paragon system, we'll add additional trees. Each tree provides players with some choice of where they want their Paragon points to go. And the system is completely extensible anytime we want to raise the Paragon cap. But that's me talking as a designer. Blood, you experienced it from a player's point of view, and also as someone who's done a lot of Paragon in Diablo 3. What was your reaction to the Paragon system?
I was blown away by the choice. You can specialize in like 4 or 5 different trees. And then with each tree, there's like these, like, I don't know what they're called, the circle and square nodes within the tree. So there's like traits and other abilities that you can earn.
The circles are the ones that give you bonuses all the time, no matter what tree you have picked as being active. And then the squares are the active specializations that give you a special bonus when that tree is selected.
I love to kind of min-max whatever I'm doing in the game. So if I'm doing PvP, I can swap to that tree and get those bonuses. And then if I'm doing some farming, I can switch to like the treasure hunter tree was my favorite. And then I can get, you know, more bonuses doing that activity. So I guess, you know, for me, being able to kind of control how my character is performing, I mean, I'm all about it. There is a dungeon now where you can kind of go back in time where you fight alongside Cool and you get to hang out with Tal Rasha. It's kind of like a WoW time walking event. Are you guys going to explore this mechanic further? Like maybe we can, I don't know, do a dungeon after the Sin War or something like that?
You know, that is a great call out, and you're spot on with even referencing WoW time walking dungeons, because that's actually how we've talked about it internally as well, is, hey, the Library of Zoltun Kulle is this opportunity for us to like dive into the past. We get to see Tal Rasha and Bale, you know, have this conflict and for the player to relive it. And we really love the way that World of Warcraft used the Caverns of Time and time walking to further expand the reach of the types of stories that you could tell. So no announcements today, but definitely something the team is excited about using.
I noticed that every dungeon has like a cutscene. It feels like a full-fledged, normal, like AAA game. It's awesome.
Well, we have a policy that, you know, that relates to the cinematics, but also things like audio design that, you know, a lot of mobile players, they don't play with the sound on. But because this is a Blizzard game, we felt like for those players that do, we have to really show up and show people that AAA quality that they've come to expect from any of our games. And so that provides us a lot of just excitement, enthusiasm on the team, because we know we're not holding back. You know, not just because this is a mobile game, we do less. Like, we still, you know, just take it to 11, you know, every chance we get.
Speaking about the story and the characters, we get to hang out with Deckard Cain again. What was it like working with him?
Yeah, that is awesome. It was great to be able to bring Deckard Cain back, being able to work with Michael Goff again. There's a short BlizzCon line segment with him. He's such a beloved character in the Diablo franchise, so I'm glad we're able to do that. I love that we're able to visit characters that are fan favorites, but, you know, we want to be, you know, we're not just Diablo on mobile, it's a brand new game. And so as part of a brand new game, we've got brand new characters that we want to explore as well. From Skarn, one of your main antagonists in the game. You've also got Zul and Lethis. We're going to be exploring the storylines behind Vala and Jozen. Vala, going to the Demon Hunter, being able to learn more about her and her history. We've got all new stories to explore.
Yeah, I didn't realize how much I missed Deckard Cain until I got off the boat, like you said. And I'm like, man, yeah, this is awesome.
He's back.
He's like the glue of the franchise almost, you know, it's awesome.
You know, one of our goals was to be a mobile MMO. And one of the ways that, you know, we really focused on is having a cool town hub like Westmarch. I don't know if you felt like Westmarch made the game feel bigger.
Well, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, like there's a hub for everybody to go to, like a little town. But it's way cooler when you get to play it, because you're there and you get to see everybody running by, you get to check out everyone's gear, and it does feel a lot more alive. And it became one of my favorite features, I think, overall, just because it's like, we were talking about WoW, you know, seeing people with certain gear and inspecting them, I think really kind of brings like the game and the community together.
I think one of the best parts is seeing all the different spots in the city where people go for different activities, whether it's leveling up their gear or getting gems slotted in or going to do some rifts or bounties. It's really cool to just watch people sort of like in the traffic, you know, going from here to there, and it feels almost like a living city, right? Where there's a bunch of people just going about their day, and it feels very, you know, like you said, like an alive.
Yeah, watching people take group selfies in,
exactly.
In different sections. It was cool. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
A central town hub was something that we wanted to do for Diablo 3. Back then, internally, we called it Player Town, and it never quite made it. In game development, you have to kind of pick and choose the features that you're going to incorporate, but I'm super thrilled that we were able to incorporate a capital city into this experience. One of the things I think is special about having a game with a capital town, and also just an online game where other players are always around, is you really get the sense that the world is real. You know, that like when you close down the app, when you aren't playing anymore, the world lives on without you and is alive without you. And I feel like having a capital city really brings that idea home.
Now we just need to have like a working bar in Westmarch and I'll be happy.
There is actually a bar in Westmarch. There wasn't a whole lot of reason to go there during Technical Alpha, but it's got a whole tavern vibe in there and go hang out.
And to be able to sit and maybe order something or hang out.
There's going to be some reasons for you to swing by the bar later. I think one of the ways that Diablo Immortal is really trying to do something new is with the social aspects of the game. When we talk about the game being a mobile MMO, I think finding reasons for you to enjoy being around other people is really important to us. I mean, you can play through the main story campaign solo, just if you just want to kind of take in and digest the story and do it at your own pace. But providing incentives and rewards for interacting with other players, I think actually makes the game more fun.
Yeah, speaking of like community, we did a dungeon together on Alpha.
Yes, we did. I had a lot of fun running that dungeon with you. So I was just watching your stream. You know, when the Tech Alpha was going on, there were a bunch of different content creators who had their streams going, and I saw you. So I'm like, oh, well, let me jump on. And I remember I typed out in chat to you. I was like, hey, Blood, do you want to run a dungeon together? And you said yes. And so that was cool. I was able to jump on. We were able to party up, no problem. I'm really glad that the voice chat was there because I was like, well, you're streaming. How do we get on voice? Like, do we need to like get onto Discord somehow? But since you were streaming the game, I think it all just worked out and all the audio passed through. And that was a good time. I think that was one of my highlights from the Technical Alpha.
Oh, that's awesome. That means a lot. So I gotta ask you guys, are there any plans for controller support?
Controller support is one of the most requested things that we got coming out of Technical Alpha. And so you are not alone in wanting to be able to sit comfortably and play with a Bluetooth controller. We're actually going to be investigating how we can bring in controller support in the future. And we are very excited that the community responded so positively to it. And so nothing to announce today, but definitely look for updates on this in the future.
Yeah, the touch controls are really good. I would use them for any kind of quick gameplay sessions, you know, when I'm out and about or doing things. But, you know, when I'm kind of plopping down for the day, it would be cool to kind of switch to controller mode and kick back. Did you guys play in any areas outside of your home?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite experiences is being able to just take my dog out for a walk and, you know, play. I was just taking my dog for a walk. I was at a intersection and the PvP event in Balfen came up, and I was just like, I'm gonna do it from here. Super convenient to be able to just play from the park or wherever. I remember Leviathan was joking that, you know, he could play while he was waiting at the doctor's office, and it's almost like, okay, you're up. He said, no, you can go. I'll keep waiting.
5 more minutes.
Don't worry about me.
Wherever I was out where I could play, you know, comfortably, I was playing Immortal, and it was a cool experience to be able to just play it wherever I was and kind of get progress on my account.
What kind of stuff did you enjoy doing?
That was actually my favorite thing about Immortal was the amount of activities you could do. There's like these layers out in the open world, there's legendary mobs, there's a lot, but I think hunting for layers or like hidden dungeons, it kind of gave me some of those D2 vibes.
What was the max rank normal gem that you got during Technical Alpha?
Not too much. I think a 5. Does that sound right? I think it was like level 5 for the normal gems.
5 definitely requires that. That sounds like 10 to 12 hours of grinding a day for a while.
Layers, I mentioned, were one of my favorite kind of activities to do in Immortal. I noticed some of the tile sets look like D3 assets, and are we going to get like a more variety of tile sets in Layers?
In Technical Alpha, we had 2 of those tile sets intentionally, just for that small test. But we plan on adding a lot of diversity and variety to those tile sets, and there should be a difference between what you see in a Rift, which sort of like takes its tile set from a global pool of different things you can see, versus like a layer, where a layer could be inside Biofin or Ashwold Cemetery, and the layer below a cemetery should look different than the layer below a jungle or a frozen mountain or whatever the zone is. And so we're putting a lot of effort to make sure that there's diversity there and that it feels connected to the world above it.
That's really cool. So if it's like a foresty type zone, the layer is going to have like a foresty, mossy type dungeon to correspond with it. That really kind of increases the immersion. I like that idea.
We want you to remember where you are in the surface world as you dive down into the layer, but that by no means limits the amount of diversity and like rich art we're able to put into each of these tile sets.
Did you expect players to grind so much in general, like with all the Paragon that we grinded and all the gem levels and everything?
There were some people who seriously went ham on it, for sure. Like, it was pretty impressive. And I mean, I took it as a compliment. When people want to play the game that much, it means that we've made something special that people want to enjoy. I think it speaks doubly so when it's a limited technical alpha, it's only going for a short time, and progress isn't carrying forward. For people to play an RPG and invest time in a character that is ultimately going to be deleted really means that they're just having a lot of fun doing it. And that's great to see.
I was really surprised by how far people got in challenge rifts. Like, to see that was just awesome because, I don't think anyone internally had gotten that far naturally without using, some like developer powers. And so just to see in 2.5 weeks, people, just blowing the dev team away in terms of challenge rift progression. That's cool. That makes us really happy.
Probably got a lot of good data off of it from the alpha, I'm assuming.
We got a lot of cool clips on Twitch, man. Like we just got a lot of great observation, just watching people play at that high level and seeing what skills they use, what do they talk about, what kind of gear or legendaries do they want. That informs us a lot, just watching you guys play.
It was really cool to see sort of how a lot of the high-end players take on the game. It was also interesting to see how, just your average person walks into the game. We held the test primarily in Australia, and being able to see.
I wonder why they did it in Australia, though.
Not like the elite top 5%, but just your average person who downloads the game. How long does it take them to finish the tutorial? How many hours do they want to play? What percentage of people are coming back? We've been gathering a lot of data, and it's been extremely helpful.
I was there at BlizzCon 2018. And how do you think the announcement for Immortal went?
Amazing.
That was rough. For sure. I think a lot of people came. They had Diablo 4 in the mind. And, at one point during the Q&A, it was asked if the game would ever be coming to PC.